What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is TheUzigunner, bringing you all the very next episode of Trainer Cards, the show where I look at and present the careers of the coaches competing in this season of the WBE. As far as today's episode goes, we're going to... Wait, what? I guess I'm gonna be covering myself today.
Nobody cares about...
Shut up! Sorry about that. But yeah, with that being said, enough of me rambling on. Let's get this show on the road. I am someone who made my official debut in draft format during 2015, in the second season of a league known as the GPC. After competing there for 3 consecutive seasons before unfortunately dropping out on my 4th one, I competed in 5 other leagues, being the NPCC, the NPL Minors for 3 seasons, the MPL, and 2 seasons in the UBL, with the WBE being my 6th one in total. Throughout all these years, I have managed to reach playoffs a total of 5 times and have won championship under my resume, leaving me with a total of 71 wins and 33 losses, giving me an okayish winning percentage of 68, I guess. As far as my favorite playstyle goes, bulky offense has been more or less my forte, and that can be seen in these 2 squads you see before you. The first one was drafted in the Season 1 of the UBL, with the latter being drafted in the Season 2 of the UBL. And yes, your eyes aren't deceiving you, I drafted Pikachu, and I drafted it round 1. But yeah, basically my idea of an ideal squad revolves around using versatile Pokemon that can act as a Volturn core, with my own fair share of breakers and revenge killers, hazard setters and removers, which does somewhat follow the line of Dan's builds, which is essentially me dictating the pace of the match with momentum and keeping it that way. This also enables me to run the ideal sets for the Pokemon I aim to use, instead of being forced to run an exact set every single week due to not having any other Pokemon that can do the same thing. I also try my best to keep a nice balance regarding speed tiers and typings so that I don't necessarily have to run a particular set each week, and essentially give my opponent full liberty to run whatever spread or set they wish. That to me is the most important thing, I believe, when drafting a team, because trying to outplay your opponents during your matches is one thing, but if there's something that I learned throughout these years, the overall build you use going into the match is just as much, if not much more, important going to the match. Yes, you can build it in any way you want and rely on you outplaying your opponents to win your matches, but setting specific plans for each probable scenario and combining it with how you play is, to me, the most important and effective thing. Throughout my 4 years of doing this, I've used my fair share of Pokemon, but if there's anyone that I'd call the BPC's undisputed MVP, it'd have to be none other than Infernape. That's right, folks, just as Victini is Dan's signature Pokemon and Landorus Incarnate is Lars' signature Pokemon, Infernape falls under the exact same category for yours truly. I've drafted this amazing Pokemon a total of 3 times and managed to nab a whopping total of 43 KOs. The main element that made this thing so effective in my eyes would have to be its versatility, from Bandit to Mixed Life Orb to Scarf to even defensive depending on the matchup. This Pokemon more or less played as the ultimate asset for my squad and very much did an effective job at excelling in whatever role I found for it. When you consider its coverage and think of the endless possibilities with the addition of Z moves, it is almost self-explanatory of just how great of an asset it can truly be for any squad. Throughout the 3 times I've used it, if there's any particular set that I would consider my all-time favorite, it'd have to be the time I ran Flame Charge 3 attacks with Life Orb in the Season 1 of the UBL Finals. After playing the match to the best of my abilities and having everything fall into place, it was the well-timed Flame Charge that sealed the deal and helped me clean up the remainder of my opponent's squad and helped me win my first and only championship after 3 years of chasing one. It was at this very moment that I realized just how amazing this Pokemon can really be if used right, and why I'll always be a strong advocate for Gen 4's best starter. Don't at me. And now for the final segment of the video, let's talk about me as a battler. Honestly speaking, to say what I'm capable of now has always been the same since 2015 would be a massive lie. Back then, my drafting and building ability in general has never really been the best. In fact, I still remember my first squad where I more or less had to bring the exact same sets each week using a specific Pokemon because I had no other party member that was capable of doing such a similar thing. That and my builds were pretty basic to top it off. I never really placed great emphasis into these two things and as a result, put almost all my focus into outplaying my opponents and nothing else, which greatly held me back early on. I suffered from this mindset the most during my tenure in the NPL minors, where no matter what it is that I tried to do, my very skilled opponents who had vastly superior prep would always get the better end of the exchange. All of that changed, however, when I started learning from arguably some of the absolute best draft battlers today in Matty Brolic and Iron Flash Gaming, who taught me the importance of having an effective draft and builds going into the matches that has actual long-term thinking and planning rather than just a squad for me to try and outpredict my opponents with for the sake of victory. It is because of their guidance that I've been able to develop this new perspective in regards to draft battling and honestly reach where I am now at this point in time. That being said, I still have my fair share of flaws as a player. For one, there are times where I may throw caution to the wind and make unnecessary plays at times when I gain absolutely nothing from it in reality, which can come back to bite me in the butt big time. That, and if my said opponent has amazing prep and manages to immediately put me in the back burner early on in the game, that's when I more or less start to panic and overall have a really hard time recovering, which usually ends up with a loss from my end. There have also been times where even when I'm thinking hard, I fail to be able to find a proper long-term scenario during the game and may just end up making the wrong play that ends up costing me the game. That being said, I owe everything to the years of me playing this game competitively and the amazing friends I've played along the way who have been nothing but a great influence towards me becoming the competitor that I now am today. Rationally speaking, I'm not sure if I can win the championship, let alone playoffs, as this squad isn't entirely my forte, especially when my dark type in the squad is the loneliness I feel whenever I sleep at night. However, I definitely will give my absolute best to make this all a reality, and I hope that each and every single one of you are here to support me on this new journey. So yeah, that, my friends, concludes this episode of Trainer Cards. I hope you all managed to find enjoyment out of it, and if you did, feel free to drop a like on this video and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, what you think of yours truly. I truly am beyond grateful for this priceless opportunity, and I'm also grateful for the support you all have been giving this series. This is just me speaking out of the top of my head. It makes everything that goes into it very much worth it, and I hope I can continue entertaining each and every single one of you, both as an analyst and as a battler. My name is TheUzigunner. Thank you very much for watching. Have yourselves a glorious day, and I'll see you all on the flip side. Peace!